Hey guys, so wanted to show you something I'm working on here. I have the Cool Brewing fermenter bag. Well, I also have the catalyst here, right? Well, the catalyst fermenter does not fit all the way. It fits in my fermenter brewing bag, Cool Brewing bag, but I don't have room at the top for an airlock. I mean, it's just like flush with the top. So either I run blow off tubing into the bung and that outside the Cool Brewing bag into a cup, or I try something different. And what I'm doing is I want to create a fermenter box. So what I did is I went to Lowe's and picked up some sheets of this wall foam. You know, it's about a half-inch thick or so. Almost, well, yeah, about half-inch thick. And basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it to just a little bit bigger than the dimensions of the catalyst and see if I can make like an insulated box that I can put ice bottles inside of to keep it cool. So I wanted to show you me making this, so just stay tuned and watch me build this thing. And yeah, it'll be on rapid mode, I'm sure. So anyways, let's get to building this thing, and let me show you here. So I got my sheets of foam. And my catalyst. And what I want to do is just kind of build around the catalyst a little bit. So here's the catalyst, right? And I want to basically build a box out of this foam that goes just within the dimensions of this thing. You know, that I can just kind of cut this foam down to size. And they cut it for me, but I don't really like the job they did. I just told them to cut it in equal lengths or whatever, but I'm going to use a straight edge and cut it. But basically I just want to build my own little box that I can kind of take together and take apart, whatever. And I think it'll work well, especially since they don't make anything that accommodates this. And I've even heard guys say that they have trouble fitting their catalyst in a fermentation fridge. So I'm going to try and make my own cooling box. So let's get started, huh? First off, you need a measuring tape. And the base of this thing is 13.5 by 17. This is about 13, well, not quite 13.5, it's about 13.25 by 17. So I'm going to measure out two sides to about an inch greater. So I'm going to go ahead and get, and the height of this thing is right about 26.5, and then the top of the airlock is probably just under 31 inches. So I need this thing to be about 32 high. So yeah, here we go. I'm gonna measure, first I'm gonna measure these 32 high and cut them, and then work on cutting the sides down. It'll be less for me to have to cut vertically if I can just start horizontally. So yeah, let me move the fermenter out of the way. Lay my first sheet down. So let's go 32. Right, let me double check that real quick. So we are going to measure 32 on this. So that's about 32 right there. Now, best way to do this is to have your level so you can see you're doing a straight line for sure. So right up there's my cut. Using a level, we're just going to kind of go down right along my straight edge. Just a light cut, nothing serious yet. Alright, now I have my straight line. I can line up my straight edge. Now, let's see if I can, should be able to smoothly break it. Alright, and then take my razor, cut the plastic. Alright, so that's one side, and this should be set aside. Now we've cut it in half. Lengthwise. Let's see where it is this way. It's right about 32. That way, and so yeah. So yeah, we have a perfect 32 on this one. So now I'm going to take the next sheet and do 32 on it, and so on and so on. And put all the, it's good to take your other pieces and set them aside so you don't get them mixed up. Alright guys, so I have cut 4 32-inch tall walls for this chamber that I'm building. So let me recap on the dimensions of the stand for the catalyst. The dimensions for the stand are 17 inches by roughly 13¼ inches. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these walls, 2 walls to 19 inches to give some wiggle room there, and 2 other walls at 16 inches. That way we have a little bit of room for that box to move around. I found that 2-liter Coke bottles fit perfectly within the stand, underneath the stand. So you can freeze 2-liter Coke bottles and set them inside the stand underneath, and that cool air will kind of keep that wort cool. That's the plan. So I'm gonna go ahead and measure these to 16 and 19. So let's get to that, shall we? And if you need to, double check your measurement, make sure you're cutting the right way. So this is my 32. So let's go, let's do 19 on this because it's a really wide one. Take your handy cutting blade, and let's flip this over actually, because I want to cut and fold on this side. So there's 19 right there, so I'm just going to mark it with an incision. Right, and let's go ahead and take our straight edge, and you want to hold this up, like I said before, with a level. That way you know you're doing a straight line up. You want to line it up right with your incision here. My incision's right here, so I'm going to line it up with that. Better way to do this actually. Because you want to be able to hold the level on once you've got it straight. So Make sure you're level. You got to be able to clamp it with your thumb pretty good doing it this way. If you have a better way of doing this, by all means do it your way. So I just want to make sure my level's straight. That's pretty good. I'm just going to kind of hold it firm. Just lightly drag it down. Oh, see it moved a little there. Now, since I've gotten that far down, I can take it the other way. And be careful with your sharp blade. Like so. There you go. So after you've made your fairly straight cut there, you simply take the board and you fold it. See if we can get it to do it here. Just like that. And it'll pop. Fairly straight. Now the edges, you're probably wondering, the edges are all foam, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take some of that duct tape, not actual AC duct tape, but this dryer tape, and cover these edges so they're smooth. So don't worry about that, so you don't have like snow pieces going everywhere. So I'm just going to take my knife and run down the back of this bend just lightly. And a lot of it should just cut that plastic that's backing it. This is messy, so do this somewhere you don't mind getting snow flurries everywhere. So there's my first wall, 19. So toss this aside and double check. 19 and about 19. All right, so let's continue on to the next one. Okay, so I've got two 16-inch walls and two 19-inch walls. They're not 100% perfect. We'll see how this works out. But what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to leave out, let's see, one of the wider walls. We're going to set it aside because I don't need it right now, because I want to use it as like a pop-out wall. So we'll see how that works. So anyways, what we're going to do is I'm going to take my tape and I'm going to tape, let's see, I know y'all can't see this. Not thinking about this instruction part. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take my walls and butt them together like so. And what I want to do is take the tape, I'm going to tape the inside corner and I'm going to tape the outside corner. So I'm going to tape on both sides of this to seal this wall up good. So I'm going to do that right now. So first, let's get some tape. I'm using this 3M ducting tape. So I'm going to measure it down and cut it. Now it's okay to have a little excess because you can just take the excess and wrap it over the edges. So I'm going to take it about like that. Take your little utility knife. Measure it out like that. We're going to just cut it right here. Try not to cut myself in the process. Alright. Set the knife aside. This stuff's like aluminum foil kinda. You want half of it on, just half of it. see how we're doing here. Like that, all the way down. Kind of cut off the rest off. And it should be on there like so. Alright, and then we're going to take our inner wall that we want to tape on. Alright. Keep forgetting to show you guys. So we're going to take this inner wall, we're going to pull this tape right over. And if you don't quite get it over because your walls don't exactly match up, you can always use more tape. This is actually quite the challenge here. You can see the stuff is pretty strong. Real strong tape. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape up here on this corner a little more. You probably don't even need a knife, I'm probably just tear it. And I have plenty of this tape, so I'm not too worried about using a lot of it if I need to. Just gonna go up here. Like so. Just fold it over on top. Now we've got two walls together, like so. Now, the only thing I noticed that I wish I hadn't done is I wanted the silver side on one side, white on the other. But you know what? For this thing, this will work just fine for what I'm doing. So, let's move to the next wall. Or tape the inside of this wall, I should say. There we go. There you go. Not the prettiest thing, but you know what? It's gonna work. So bam. Two walls, and I'm gonna tape up the other ones. I'm just doing the same thing to this one. Might as well make them match, put the silvers on the out on the sides at least. And the tape will cover all this up. All this ugly, crumbly foam. Alright guys, so I got it done. There she is. Taped it all on the inside, all around. You see it's not very thick foam, but it's going to be enough to keep my fermenter insulated well. But yeah, I mean this thing, yeah, it's going to do its job, and that's for sure. So, yeah, and it will fit over that bad boy, no problem. Just take it and bam. Put some cold ice bottles in there with it, and it's going to be like its own little mini cooler. So you'll see I taped every crevice I could. There's not going to be any seepage whatsoever with this, and I use this 3M duct tape, AC duct tape, all the way around all the edges and on the bottom here. So this foam cost me like $11, 12 bucks for the one big sheet of foam. So I used one big sheet of foam and a bunch of tape. So you can build one of these for like maybe 20 bucks tops. The tape's like, I don't know, 5 bucks. And then the sheet of foam was like another $12 after taxes and everything. So it's a very cheap way to do this. Very cheap way to keep your catalyst fermenter cool, or any other tall fermenter, and you can build it to the size that you need it, you know. So I'm looking forward to brewing here this weekend coming and demonstrating the catalyst, but I really wanted to make sure that I had temperature control for it. So now I can brew and use it, and it's so, I got like foam on my face, I don't know. Anyways, temperature control is so crucial to having great beer. So if you don't control your temperature, your brew can get real funky or have off flavors, phenols, esters, all kinds of stuff. Your alcohol can be too hot. It means you're tasting a lot of alcohol in your brew and not much of the brew itself. So maintaining temperature is so important, and so that's why I did not want to demonstrate the catalyst without building something to maintain that temperature. I thought my Cool Brewing bag was going to work for it, but it's just a little too small for my airlock, and I wanted to be able to have my airlock on top, like here. And my Cool Brewing bag literally comes to the top here, so I couldn't use the Cool Brewing bag for that, and I may pass that Cool Brewing bag on to somebody, and I may give it away, or I may sell it for dirt cheap. So we'll see here soon what I'll do with that bag, but depending on if I like the catalyst or not, of course. We'll see how this all turns out. So anyways guys, thanks for watching me build this thing, and we'll see how it performs, won't we? Cheers.